People drinking water in this island turn into zombies. Turns out it was the government involved. So the movie begins with Montreal Island, where a biotech company is hired to look after the golf club field. This company's business is using a new type of fertilizer that keeps the winter snow cold and keeps the grass fresh and green in the winters so that the rich people can enjoy playing golf for a year. The next day, a security guard named Dan is shown to fill up the groceries in his house. In fact, Dan used to listen to radio shows every day in which it was told that any problem could happen suddenly, and he was preparing himself to fight the same problems. Today, he was practicing to burn fire without matches. For this, he uses his shotgun to remove the powder from the hole, with which there is a small crack and it burns an eyebrow. From here, the scene shifts and we can see Dan's daughter Patricia, which used to work as a helper in the golf club. Here, the CEO of the biotech company, Michelle, tells a rich couple playing golf that because of their fertilizer, the gas is working very well, which makes the game more enjoyable. While the real wonder was happening under the ground, where fertilizer spread many times and was ruining the water that was under the ground, which was supplied to the entire town. In the next scene, the actor named Jacques is seen. He used to buy things for his house. Water from the tap of the studio, where the fruits and vegetables kept in the store were washed with the water of the tap, and the water of the tap was similar. He suddenly becomes a zombie. He bites his wife and eats her flesh. And as soon as he does this, she becomes a zombie. After this, Jacques also enters the tub, and both their green eyes start shaking. In the golf club, Michelle and the couple go towards the main building, and they are surprised that no one was there. Suddenly, a man comes running and says that people are getting sick. That is why they should also run away from there. That's why many employees follow him. All of them have become zombies. At the same time, a dog shows up, seeing which his wife calls him, but he jumps on her with anger and cuts her in the neck. Looking at this, her husband and Michelle throw the dog away. Only then do they see the other zombies running from there. Then the woman also starts changing into a zombie, while both the men enter the building quickly and close the door. But the dog also enters the building quietly and cuts the leg of the woman's husband. That's why they lock him in a separate room. Till then, all the zombies gather at the door, and they start knocking at the door. In this way, the husband becomes a zombie and follows Michelle, who is hiding in the kitchen with a knife in his hand. In the next scene, it is shown to be Dan, who calls an old woman and says that her neighbors are drinking and fighting. They are fighting with each other. When he reaches there and plays the bell, his neighbors come out and had become a zombie. Only then, that old woman becomes a zombie and starts following Dan. Dan quickly hides in the car and calls for help, but no one comes there. Seeing the zombies running on the streets, Dan starts worrying about his daughter Patricia, and he calls her, but Patricia is also running away from the zombies. That's why she can't pick up the call. That's why Dan starts worrying about her. So he leaves his car and goes to look for his daughter with a weapon. In the next scene, we look at a boy named Andre, who makes milk for his younger sister Annie, for which he used to use tap water. Then his mother tells him to use bottled water, and she herself never used to drink tap water. Whenever she was thirsty, she used to drink soda or some other kind of drink. He used to drink water. Soon his mother would start chasing him, on which Andre says that due to a lot of exercise, she must be chasing him. Soon his mother becomes a zombie and starts running after him to attack Andre. But as soon as she attacks Andre, Dan touches her with his car, which makes her lose her mind. Andre is saved by seeing his mother's condition, but Dan stops him and says that this time is not to be emotional, but to save his life. He tells him to hide in his house and goes from there. Then more zombies start coming there. In this way, Andre couldn't leave his mother there. That's why he takes her inside the house while walking. After closing all the doors of the house, he calls the police for help, where he gets a recorded message that the entire island is quarantined. The bridge is shown in the next scene, which was connected to the main city of the island. Some policemen were standing here, who had closed the bridge's doors so that no one could enter and go out. The scene shifts, and Andre's mother goes to attack Annie. But Andre stops her in the bathroom, where her eyes fall on the water dripping from the shower, and she enters the tub. There, Annie continues to cry, the sound of which brings a lot of zombies out of the door. Andre covers it with a blanket and a plastic, so that her voice won't be heard. In a short while, all the zombies go back. After some time, Andre's cat pet comes back to the house and a zombie enters the house from there, and he is about to catch Andre. Then Andre leaves the house and the zombie stops moving. But as soon as Andre takes the golf stick and comes back, the zombie is hidden. In the next scene, Patricia is seen. She hides in a garage to escape from the zombies and calls her dad Dan for help. Then he immediately reaches there and sees that there are a lot of zombies outside the garage. He takes out his knife and kills some zombies with it, and drops some on the ground. After that, he goes inside. At the same time, the police officers have removed from the bridge, because the affected area is blown out by bombs from military. This causes power cuts in the entire town. Next morning, the caretaker of Annie reaches to the work, but bridge has been destroyed. Meanwhile, Andre starts making a video of zombies from the window of his house. And at the same time, the press conference is shown on the internet, where the Ministry of Defense tells people that we have destroyed the bridge for the safety of the island, and now it is in the state control. A light is lit so that it does not cut anyone. Some zombies are seen outside who have some green color stickers on their body. Suddenly a small girl attacks Dan, which Dan pushes and removes, but she is not able to kill him. Meanwhile, in the biotech company, two twins, i.e. the connected sisters, send the golf club with weapons, which was beating up every zombie on its way. In the club, Michelle was burning all the papers and documents related to this deal, so that there is no evidence that the infection of the zombies started due to their fertilizer. In the end, they keep a little sample of the fertilizer. Only then do both the twins reach him and forcefully put a sample in his face, after which he unconsciously takes his body to the ground, and this ball falls from Michelle's hand and falls on the ground. In the next scene, we see the three survivors coming towards the water plant from the car. They leave Annie in the car so that other zombies do not come from her cry. But Patricia did not want to leave her with the child, so they take her with them. They enter the building where a zombie has entered the water tank, whose body was wet. Patricia gets to know, and she runs towards her, so she has to run after them. As soon as she reaches the pool, she gets shot. To save her, Dan also gets shot. In this, the zombie comes up and starts attacking Dan. Dan catches Patricia and does it in front of the zombie, which makes her move back. When Andres comes close to her, he realizes that zombies don't attack each other. But then the zombie hears his voice and starts following him. Then Andres starts running towards the outside, but other zombies start following him there. Here, Dan tries to get Patricia out of the water, in which she gets separated. While running, he reaches inside the car, and then Dan comes out. He uses Patricia as a shield so that the zombies stay away from him. After sitting in the car, Dan hears something. Then he finds out that Patricia's phone was still with her. He uses the broken side of the phone to unlock the phone, and only then does he realize that there was grass on Patricia's wounds. In the winter season, he is surprised to see grass, but only then he remembers that there was an experiment in the golf club, and this is probably the result of it, not of the terrorists. In the golf club, both the twins start breaking all the balls on the glass of the golf club so that no proof remains, and they notice the strange smoke. They take out the phone and start recording everything, and then they go to the front door. But when they are locked, they find another way to go inside. They climb on the roof and enter and open the door so that the rest of the people come inside. He closes the door in a storage room while he arranges to sleep for Annie with the help of chairs. After that, Dan and Andre search the entire building. Only then they see the dog, who was still alive and his entire body was covered in grass. Till now, his health was also deteriorating. Annie was crying, so Andre goes to find her, only to see she is missing from her place. On the other hand, Dan somehow manages to get inside where he finds many balls on the ground. He reached the room where all the bomb timers were connected. Till now, Dan had become very weak. That's why he falls down and it is difficult to get up. Then he turns off the timer with the broken hand of Patricia. Then his eyes also start to turn green. Outside the building, the twins see that after a long time, the building had not been blasted. That is why she goes inside to check. They can see Annie in the kitchen. They feed her fertilizer and go from there. Andre finds his sister and reaches the room where the zombie Michelle was locked. She goes to the other side and finds her sister. Both twins stop him. One of them closes the mouth of Annie, and the other starts giving fertilizer to Andre. But before this, Annie becomes a zombie and cuts into the hand of the twin, which then drops the fertilizer sample. Then Dan attacks the other twin and cuts him. Now as Andre moves back, her leg falls on the ball of treatment, which makes the ball break and the smoke spreads all over the place, which makes Annie Annie and Dan gradually better. Now Dan starts following Andre, and both run into the kitchen. But as soon as Dan is going to cut Andre, suddenly he feels the presence of Annie, and he leaves her. At the same time, both the twins take out their guns and kill each other because they did not want to become zombies. In the next scene, Andre calls his old phone from Dan's jacket and finds the phone with the ring, and makes a video, in which he tells about all the incidents and then puts the video on the internet while requesting for help. After that, he sends Dan to his daughter's room. The government send help as soon as the video starts surfacing on the internet. Soldiers kill zombies who come in their way. Andre comes out of the building. He took the hand and asked for help. He also brought the broken hand of Patricia, which helped him in making the vaccine. That's why he reached to one more survivor soldier who was shot. After seeing this, Andre realized that the soldiers were not there to save the survivors, but to kill everyone and clean the area. Until now, Annie was also fine, so Andre ran away from there and hid. Dan was also fine in the golf club, but then the soldiers entered the building and burned him and Patricia. In the next scene, the Ministry of Defense was shown to speak on TV, which tells the public that the condition is better now and the situation is under control. Then he picks up a cup of water with the fertilizer company's logo over it, which means that he was also involved in the case. Andre keeps moving forward and finds many survivors' dead bodies. Just then, he reaches near the shore where he sees a boat coming. They come to his rescue with Annie caretaker, leading it with some volunteers. They save Annie and Andre. They leave. Andre realizes that Patricia's broken hand is no good to him now, so he drops it into the water. Just then, a fish takes a bite out of it and turns into a zombie, and the movie ends here.